Right, this is graphing absolute value equations. Right, what I really want you guys to do is this. We are going to use the old equation that we had. All right, so we're going to use, and everybody should remember this equation. All right, so I'm going to go right up to the top. We already did this. Y equals ax minus h squared plus k. And you guys should know what this equation does. You should know what the a does. You should know what the h does. You should know what the k does. All right? So we're going to use that information that you already have, and we're going to graph these. Now, what we're doing is this. We have y equals. Now, if I turn this into this, well, it's going to look like this. A absolute value x minus h plus k. So that's what we're changing our equation from the squared one to the absolute value one. But guess what? This does the same thing, this does the same thing, and this does the same thing. So the only thing you really need to know is what the absolute value of x looks like, which is our first one. All right? Well, the first one is just this. I'm going to change this into this. All right? So this changed into that, we get y equals. Well, there's no number out here, so that means it's a 1. X, there's no number in here, so that means the h is a 0. And there's no number out here, so that means the k is a 0. So this equation, written in this form, would look like this. All right? So 0, 0 is our vertex. We go here. Our a is 1. Now, here's how we're going to use that a to graph an absolute value equation. We are going to use that just like it was the slope. All right? So we're going to turn it into 1 over 1, which means we go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. But with absolute value equations, you have to do it in both directions. All right? So I went in this direction, and now I got to go in this direction, but the same thing. Up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. So you got to do it to the left and to the right, and notice that gives us a V-shaped graph. All right, a V-shaped graph, and that's what absolute value graphs look like. They look like V-shaped graphs. All right, so that's what this lesson's all about. So if you already know this equation, you guys are going to have no problem with this. All right, so again, let's look at this next one. Now, the only difference between this one and that one is this one has a negative sign in front of it. So, again, I'm going to change it into our y equals negative 1, x minus 0 plus 0. So, again, no h, no k, so we fill them in with zeros. So, again, this one's going to start at 0, 0. This time I got a negative 1. All right, and we know with slope, that means we go down instead of up. So now it becomes negative 1 over 1. So I'm going to go down 1 to the right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Down 1, left 1, down 1, left 1, down 1, left 1. And I get my V-shaped graph. Okay, so that's what it is about graphing absolute value equations. So as long as you know that equation, we're going to be good. All right, so now if we graph this one, again, changing this one into that other form, it's going to look like this. Again, no number up front, so we put a 1. No number in here, so we're going to put a 0. But we do have a number out here, so we put the 3. So my vertex now is at 0, 3. All right, 0, 3 means I don't go any left or right. 3 means I go up 3. So notice that it shifted it up 3 spaces, all right, which is what we talked about before. All right, our slope is 1, so again, 1 over 1. So it's up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, both directions, to the left and to the right, and I get my V-shaped graph. All right, so you should be able to fill this one in. If we add a number on the outside of the bracket, it causes the graph to move up that many spaces. All right, and if we subtract it, if it's minus, it means it's going to move down that many spaces. All right, remember the number on the outside moves the graph up or down. All right, so now we'll go to our next one. Now we have a number inside. All right, so again, changing this into our form gives us y equals, no number outside, so 1, x minus 4, the number's already there, and then no number out here, so we're going to put plus 0. So that means that our vertex, remember this one, be careful, because remember it's opposite the one in there. So our vertex is at 4, 0. So that means we go over 4, we don't go up or down any, and our vertex, or our A, is 1, so we're going to go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1 in both directions. And we're going to graph our V-shaped graph. Remember, if it's not a V-shaped graph, you're doing something wrong. All right? You guys should be able to fill in all this information about it because, again, that's going to be our same thing. If A is positive, the graph open up. If A is negative, the graph will open down. If H is positive, all right, so remember it's going to be minus something. So if it's minus something, it means it's going to move it to the right. All right. If the H is negative, that's going to change this to a plus sign, so it moves it to the left. All right. If K is positive, it moves it up. If K is negative, it moves it down. So those are all things that you already know. All right. The U-tries. This is just how it's going to be different. Now, if you want to do these U-tries on your own, you can go ahead and you can do them on your own. So just pause the tape right here and go ahead and do the U-tries. But I'm just going to do them. So again, we're going to determine how they were going to be different from the y equals the absolute value of x. This, we know that this is plus 8, so it moves it up 8 spaces. All right. This is a negative 3. So the negative, all right, that means it opens down. And the 3 makes it thinner. All right. And then number 3, that plus 12, that makes it move left. Again, left 12 spaces. All right. And then down here, number 4, we got this. That makes it open down. The 1/2 makes it wider. And that minus 3 makes it go right 3 spaces. All right. So then number 5, the 4, that makes it thinner because again it's bigger than 1. The plus 2 makes it move left 2 spaces. And the negative 5 makes it go down 5 spaces. All right, and then number 6, that minus 5 moves it right 5 spaces, and the negative 6 down 6 spaces. All right, and then graphing this, again, we're going to do it without the XY table. So remember, opposite keep. So this makes it at negative 3, 2. So we go negative 3, 1, 2, 3, positive 2, 1, 2. So that's our vertex. Our A is 1, so we just go up 1 over 1 in both directions. And that's it. All right. Number 8. Again, putting it in the right form gives us y equals negative 1, absolute value of x, minus 0, because there's no number in there, and then minus 3. So that means our vertex is at 0, negative 3. So it moves it down 3 spaces. All right. And then a -1, again, instead of going up, we're going down, but we're only going down. So down 1 over 1, again, in both directions. And we get our upside down V-shaped graph. All right. And that's it. All right, so that was it. That was the last lesson. What I want you to actually do today is you are going to do the Unit 3 quiz review. All right, the quiz review that's in there. Now, I'm going to tell you, all this quiz is graphing. All right. There may be a couple questions. There might be some add-on questions that I'm going to add, or some that is in the beginning that I'm going to put. But the ones that I'm going to put in the beginning are just going to be about, if you want to, you can do this worksheet. All right. This is the 4.6. This is the one on absolute value. So there may be some of these questions on here. All right. Like this, tell whether it opens up or down, or wider or narrower. I might put some of that on there. I don't think we're going to put that. But I might put some stuff like whether the graphs open up or down, where the vertex is, so pull the vertex off of there. So I may have some stuff like that on there. All right. But it should be easy stuff as long as you understand it. So I want you to do the quiz review. This is all just graphing. And then we're going to have our quiz tomorrow. All right. And then you're off for a week.